BearTalk is produced by the Golden Bear Gazette, Mount Juliet High School student newspaper. Welcome back to BearTalk. I'm your host, Will Blackmon, and today is Monday, December 18th. I hope everyone is having a great Christmas break so far, but we still have some action here in the sports world. Girls basketball travels to Gatlinburg this week. They have a tournament down there. And boys basketball stays local. They have a tournament at Lebanon High School. The leading scorers for the Bears include Johnny Pfefferly with 9 points per game, along with Braxton Corey and Ashton Kirkendall with 9 points a game. Garner Pfeiffer, averaging 2 threes a game, is averaging 8 points a game. Let's head on down to Memphis, where the Grizzlies travel to Oklahoma City tonight. They play the Thunder and try to avoid their 5th straight loss. Not the way you really want to start your season. They are 6-18, and they are 13th in the West. Heading down to Nashville, the Predators won 3-1 against the Capitals on Saturday. That's their 18th win on the year. They are 18, 13, and 0. Not a single overtime loss for the Predators this year. They host the Canucks tomorrow, and they are currently 4th in the Central Division. Titans lost a tough one last night against the Texans. They fall to 5-9 and are eliminated from playoff contention. They lost in overtime, 16-19. Speaking of the Titans, let's head into the NFL. Let's look at the teams in playoff contention. So as we sit right now, the Ravens are 11-3 and have clinched a playoff spot. Dolphins 10-4, Chiefs 9-5, and Jaguars, although they have lost 3 in a row, they are 8-6. Clinging to that AFC South title. The Colts are currently the 7th seed, trying to push the Jags out of that playoff spot. Along with the Texans, they moved to 8-6, but are currently sitting outside of the AFC playoff race. Let's head to the NFC as the 49ers top the NFC. They have clinched the NFC West. They are 11-3 after their 45-29 win over the Cardinals. Christian McCaffrey gets 3 total touchdowns. He had 2 receiving touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, 118 yards on that game. Although the Cowboys lost yesterday to the Bills, they are rooting on the Seahawks tonight as they play host to the Eagles. Eagles and Cowboys still fighting for that NFC East division title. Eagles sit currently at 10-3, looking to move to 11-3. Cowboys hoping they drop to 10-4. As we look at the NFC race, the Lions sit 10-4 after they beat the Broncos 42-17. Sam Laporta catching 3 touchdowns that night, and Jared Goff throwing for 5 touchdowns, joining C.J. Stroud as the only quarterback this entire season to throw for 5 touchdowns. As we take a look at the 4 seed, the Buccaneers are 7-7 as they currently lead the NFC South. They took down the Packers in Lambeau Field 34-20. Baker Mayfield is the first ever quarterback to go into Lambeau Field and throw a perfect passer rating. As it sits right now, the Cowboys are 10-4 and currently the 5th seed. Vikings come in there at 7-7 as the 6th seed, and Rams, who did not start the season how they wanted to, they are clinging on to that 7th seed right now at 7-7. As we go over to the 7th seed in the AFC, as we look at that race, the Colts sit 8-6, Bengals at the 6th seed with also 8-6, and the Browns 9-5 after their big win against Chicago 20-17. The Ravens clinched a playoff spot last night with their win 23-7 over Jacksonville. They are the first AFC team to clinch a spot. As we head back to the NFC race, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles have all punched their ticket back to the playoffs. Matchup of the year next week, in my opinion, as the Ravens travel to Levi's Field to play the 49ers on Christmas Day. That is probably going to be the matchup of the year and a potential Super Bowl matchup. Both teams stand at 11-3 and have both already punched their ticket to the postseason. The Dolphins host the Cowboys next week. That's also going to be a very good game. The Chiefs host the Raiders. Raiders clinging on to their playoff lives. They are not yet eliminated. Speaking of eliminated, let's see who got eliminated this week. The Jets and the Titans, the only teams eliminated from playoff contention this week. The Panthers and the Cardinals were previously eliminated. The Patriots have been eliminated. With the Commanders' loss, they also are eliminated this week, which is good for the Giants. The Giants, even though they lost, they are still in it at 5-9. They really need this win this week against the Eagles. As we get closer to the playoff race, we're about a month away. The Ravens looking good to lock up that 1 seed, but the team that I really think could beat them in the playoffs is the Browns. They beat them before earlier this year, and their defense is top notch. If a team is going to beat the Ravens in the playoffs, I think it really could be the Browns, and possibly a revenge tour for Joe Flacco, as he was the former quarterback of the Ravens. As we head over to the NFC, if the 49ers are healthy, I don't think any team can beat them. The Cowboys really need to win that NFC East so they can host a playoff game. The only team in the NFL that has not lost at home, they're averaging over 30 points a game at home. Where they struggle with is on the road. They're 3-4 on the road this year, averaging just over 20 points a game. So it's vital for them that they host a playoff game and don't need to travel like they did last year, which how it is setting up right now, it's looking like they're going to travel to Tampa Bay just like they did last year. The only difference, you had Tom Brady last year. This year you have Baker Mayfield. The next couple of weeks leading up to the playoffs are definitely going to be some games to watch. This Thursday, the Rams play the Saints. The winner of that game is looking good for that wild card spot. They are both sitting at 7-7. Saints with a phenomenal defense. Rams with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. It's going to be tough to beat, and they are starting to heat up, which is what you want towards the end of the year. So all in all, it's going to be a pretty good week for football. Some other non-division games with major playoff implications. The Browns travel to Houston. The Browns are 9-5. Houston is 8-6. The Jaguars travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. Jags sit at 8-6 right now. Bucs are 7-7, clinging on to that NFC South title. The Ravens and the 49ers. Ravens travel to the 49ers. Both sit at 11-3. Going to be a great game. That's all I have for you today on this sports edition of Bear Talk. Once again, I am Will Blackmon. Until next time, stay classy, MJ, and have a very great day.